teams looking for a win. Game one, let's go.
It's game number one between the Knights and Obey, and then potentially a high kill long lane as well here in duo. As I noticed in the first set, we're getting a traditional duo lane back, aren't we? None of these supports doing any aggressive invades, inbound slowed, taking a bunch of early damage. First blood for Neoma as he shuts down inbound, and Pittsburgh Knights get on the board first. And that can happen with all this aggression that's been picked. Bobby's got to make sure he's being a bit more careful. But this is what makes the Knights so tough. Even when you do find some good execution, they do not blink. They don't show any nervousness. Neoma now pinned. The Impale, or rather the Leap, comes in to keep the CC chain going. There is no Impale. Neoma makes out. He steps in again, uses the Horrific, and he ends up paying for it. Wow, he finds the Impale, but that's because Cubo Fred was rotating in. But without an ult, there's just not a lot he can do here, and Obey end up getting away with one.
Oh, now Weaken's in the jungle. He's looking for something, and they don't need to find too much out of this. Getting that kill, getting this pressure is going to be solid, but there's going to be a solo kill. Scary D's pretty deep on the right-hand side. Neoma's showing why he's been so potent. It's what he can do early on, even in moments like this where they're going to get aggressive.
Well, everyone's slowed. You just cannot miss that ultimate, and Zapman gets one of the easiest kills of his life.
Where it's just farm until you get to 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, whoever wins that fight gets the next big objective.
Scary could be in some trouble. He's been aggressive all game, but in comes Weaken to try and help out. The wall's done good. The silence keeps the CC chain going. He leaps for the heal. Now uses Bat Out of Hell for the disengage. Cuba Fred is here, and meanwhile, Neoma gets the kill on the Wowie. Cuba has to use the Fear No Evil for Peel, but Scary D's in trouble. No, Weaken instead dunks under the full HP Cubo Fred. Some follow-up damage comes through, and Weaken ends up paying for it. Cubo Fred gets the kill, plus they got the one on Wowie in long lane.
But because the duo lane's so far ahead, Cherio can look, or Cubo Fred, sorry, can look anywhere he wants to, even onto Wolfie.
Cubo Fred might be able to get it. The Taiko drums would have put the fear into Cubo Fred, but he had the beads on tap and ready. Gets right through him and shuts down Wolfie. That's Wolfie's first death of the game. Now it's a red buff invade for the Knights as Cubo Fred takes that one quite cleanly. Neil steps up to make sure Wowie cannot come in to contest, and Pittsburgh Knights just control the whole map. It's a 5,000 gold lead, nearly 5,000, 9.5 minutes in.
Man, Finch, this is exactly what you expect. When you go for a composition that wants to be aggressive, much like the Knights have, then it wins even harder from ahead, right? You get this huge of a lead, and then you pull a Gold Fury like it's nothing. You have Scary D zoning 2 on his own on the right-hand side. Like, you get this 5,000 gold lead, and you are not scared of anything.
I don't think it comes down to him. It's that there's been so much pressure everywhere else that I don't know that he's had a ton of interaction points so far, and instead he's getting bullied as Wolfie's forced to the ultimate. Weaken comes back to try and help him, but you cannot peel Bat Out of Hell. That's good damage. Wolfie manages to survive. Inbound has to use the slow to try and get everyone away. Scary D's low too, but the flames from Paul burn too hot, and Inbound ends up falling. They step up to the Primal Fury and grab it. This is about as clean as you like, but it does come down to the execution and actually confirming it. They drop the objective. Inbound finds the pull and the push, brings him back in, but Cubo Fred gets away from some of it, but not all. Zapman gets the kill on the Weaken, though, on the backside to make them punish. The fight rages on.
And they're doing whatever they can to try and stay aggressive, but the health bars are not looking good for Obey. That's going to be Wowie. Wolfie forced the beads out of there.
Paul does get that kill on the inbound. They want a Wowie. Scary D does get impaled back, but Bat Out of Hell does not care. He ends up finding Wowie as well for their third kill. They make it a 3-for-1, and Wolfie, where you running, buddy? That's right to Scary D's waiting, clutches, grabs Wolfie quite nicely. The Primal Fury falls as well, and the Knights get a 4-for-1 plus the Fury. I know they're not compared across roles, but just to give you an idea, Scary D is like level 19, and Inbound's level 10. To give an idea of just how far behind Inbound is at this point in terms of relative to the rest of the map. And Scary D continues the aggression. Wolfie can't even exist on the map. Scary still has the Bat Out of Hell, but he's got the whole team with him. Meanwhile, his squad does the Fire Giant. Obey, at this point, are just outmatched.
There's just nothing you can do to control him outside of hope he makes a mistake at this point.
Yeah, he is absolutely beyond restraint at this point, right? You're not going to be able to bring him back in, and now Obey might get collapsed on. Ducky was the one that was left without a seat in this awful game of musical chairs. Ducky now being locked down, goes to the dabbling offensive, but the cage gets dropped. They put a ring on it, and Ducky can't make it out of there.
Want to look for this aggression, but it's so difficult to break this siege, especially because you have to deal with stuns coming out from Weaken. Still has his ult, can still go in the backline. Paul and Zapman might still be in danger.
Neil Ma gets a couple members in the cage, and Scary D gets the kill. Inbound is the one that falls first. Ducky taking too much damage. Up onto the horse goes Zapman, and Ducky goes down. It's a 5v3 in their favor. Weekend finds one with the stun, but can't do anything after it. He gets caught in the blizzard from Paul, as it ends up being too much. Make it a double kill. It's just Wolfie left, and there's no way for him to defend up against the entirety of the Pittsburgh Knights. They're farming in the fountain. They want the D aside as they shut down Obey for game 1.
Yeah, that was, I want to say less of a win, more of a statement from the Knights, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain point where you're like, okay, cool, we win. Sanguine won, right? That was, no, we are here to play.
Well, it's time for Obey to try to even this one up, and it's also time for the Knights to find their first win here in Season 7 of the SPL, and that means it's time for Game 2.
But this is almost the same as what the supports were doing before anyway. He kind of keeps Wowie out, doesn't let him do purple or the wave. It benefits Zapman, and now they can rotate back over to purple or even try and start up this fight onto Inbound, who has been stunned, takes the bladed arrow, is now slowed by this horrific emblem, has to try and use the Alpha Harpy, but now he's body blocked in. I don't think there's a way that he can get out. He's been locked down. Neil Ma finds the first blood.
Neil is level 5, chasing Weekend down at his speed buff right now. They're going for ganks on solo lane. The Knights don't care.
Yeah, Ducky being dove under the tier 1. They didn't quite have the damage to get him there, but it was close. I'm sure he wasn't feeling comfortable, as that was well played. And now Weekend could be in some trouble. He's trying to come with speed, but Neil Ma's there. A good cage catches him, and Neil Ma gets the dunk. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is the play, that level of play that got them to that World Championship, and it's what Neil Ma's bringing into Season 7. I just love watching this guy play Smite, man.
And this is, Finch, this is the answer to the question I heard a lot throughout the offseason, which was, did the Knights just have a good weekend? Like, are they going to end up getting picked up and going forward in Season 7 and not being able to play at the same level that they did for that one World Championship run?
But so far here, Gore, Obey might be at theirs, man. This has been really tough going for them. That's a good pillar. Wowie buys himself some time, gets aggressive, knows that Inbound's on the way, but that might have been the wrong call. Does impale Newmont against the wall. In comes the Kappa, and that's a big play from Wowie, trusting Inbound to come in, and Obey are not ready to sit down yet. They were a bit late. The Knights had the positioning. They kind of baited them in a little bit. And now there's more action. Paul is locked inside this camp and uses the beads and the crushing wave, and Inbound gets flattened. Grasp of Death hits Casper as Paul finds the double kill to shut them down. They want another one. Cubo Fred goes forward to gobble up Wolfie, and the Knights starting to run over Obey. The speed buff is about to start. Maybe they've got the timer on this. This is risky, though. A lot of people in blue, a lot of Order team members here to try and defend. It looks like it was stripped away. Cubo Fred uses Volcanic Lightning, doesn't find anyone, gets locked into the grasp of death, but in comes Neil Ma. It's a two-man stunt from Scary D as well as they lock down Wicked. Scary makes it 1-for-1. Already on the way out is Neil Ma, but Scary D isn't. He wants the double. Shuts down Wolfie as well.
The way I like to look at it is when you load into a Conquest game, there's a horizontal line right across the middle of the map. And that's your line of scrimmage, right? If you walk past it, you're on their side. If you don't walk past it, you're on your side. The Knights have effectively moved that to the Tier 2 tower line right now.
I like this, though. They know that a lot of members have backed. Maybe they can catch Zapman by himself. Ducky grabs him. Zapman uses the beads, makes it over the wall. Inbound does have Blink. He finds his way over the wall. There's so many members of Obey here. They're definitely going to get this kill into Zapman. It's just a question of how long. It doesn't take too long, and they shut him down.
And Neil, it's hard to tell. Is he trying to bait for Paul to come over? It looks like they still want to fight, and they're going to be going back in.
They do. Paul is waiting in the wings as well, so this fight is nicely favored. Desert Fury well timed. Volcanic Lightning, though, nearly out DPSs it, but Wowie finds another kill. But Neil Ma now here. Paul flattens two with the double kill, and they turn the fight back around. It ends up being a 2-for-3 in favor of the Knights.
Well, I'm just going to say, try to outrun him with the Frostbound Hammer and his own little movement speed buff, right? He has a sustain, and now, like you said, he's getting out those autos faster. Like, you're just going to have prot strat, and they're going to go in with it.
They're trying to fight around this grasp of death. The cage, though, slows down a lot of this fight. This is good, though, from Inbound. He pushes Neil Ma underneath the Phoenix, and they burn him down quite quickly. This might be the defense Obey needed to try and hold on in this game. I mean, the Knights were over-committing a bit to that left side Phoenix, and they only lose Neil. They're still in great position to contest here. Inbound comes to the back. Grasp of Death makes it all the way to the back for Zapman and forces out his Purification Beads. That's good work from Wolfie. But the left side Phoenix is a sitting duck. There's no one there to defend that one, Gormizer, and the Knights grab it for free.
And being able to split up like this, I mean, normally you have a 4-1 split and maybe you get a Phoenix, right? A 3-2 split, getting a Phoenix, and looking like you could potentially win a fight, you pull out an ult from Weekend, you can still go in here.
Weekend finds the two-man knockup. That sets up for a nice kill there that Ducky gets. Wowie was pretty instrumental in it, but Paul now starting to find his stride with 9 in a row. Shuts down 2 with the double kill, but Ducky finds a double kill of his own. He shuts down Neil Ma, but Scary D still full HP and looking to work. Looking to see if we can find Ducky, and the King Arthur finds a nice heal so he can keep standing, but Cubo Fred's gotten to Wolfie. There was no entourage there to back him up, and Cubo wants to see if he can find Ducky as well. Wolfie inside that passive does get 1 kill. A nice stun from Ducky nearly shuts down Cubo. So maybe not the cleanest. Obey finds some nice return kills, but they do get the left side Phoenix.
Use what is around you as a 6th man in the team fight to deal that damage. Your Phoenixes are going to help you. And a split like this, they're looking, that's an ambush.
The inbound does catch Zapman. The Desert Fury doesn't get much, but Neil Ma locked down, but that has to be the Mantle of Discord proc that stays in there, and it absolutely was. That's a big stun, and so Cubo Fred can come in with the Volcanic Lightning. The knockup's there to follow up as well, but Ducky manages to shut him down. Not before Paul answers back, though, with a double kill. Gets Ducky as well with the Crushing Wave, and there's only Weekend and inbound left to try and defend. The Pittsburgh Knights have 4 to burn down the mid-Phoenix.
And just being able to take that one, they can push into the room. You still have to deal with Weekend, but I don't know if the damage is going to be enough, especially with Paul. I mean, he's 11-4 right now, Finch.
Weekend starting to be in some trouble. He does manage to get back towards the fountain now, but with minions starting to pour in from mid and left with 4 members of the Knights, should be able to take this game. Obey don't have enough tools at their disposal to defend here, and the Knights in dominant fashion clean up Obey 2-0.